First, you had 28 Days Later, which is brilliant, probably top 10 zombie movies of all time. Second, you had 28 Weeks Later, which is brilliant. It has maybe one of the best openings of all time. And now you've got 28 Years Later, which I'm not sure why they skipped months, but the script was worth it. This movie could be a masterpiece and is absolutely a wonderful conclusion to, that is not a conclusion to a movie arc that is kind of non-existent. They're all separate and they all work, but they're all really intriguing explorations of how humans would react to a scary zombie, because that's what they are, freaking scary zombies. Aaron Taylor Johnson continues to surprise me and is absolutely a joy to watch in almost everything he does now. And it's heartbreaking what kind of plays out for his character, because you don't really get a resolution for him, and he's just kind of stuck with losing his family outright in like a matter of a day. And especially going from that plus being a proud father, it hits home. The standout though, this kid being, basically a coming of age story here, is really unexpected, but works really well. Something else that was a little unexpected was the fact that the virus had been pushed back to the UK again, which I'm not sure if there's a underlying political symbolism there, but maybe. You'd have to let me know if you're from the UK, if you feel slighted by that you guys got kind of left out to dry and just like, holy crud, left stuck. But the combination of a coming of age story as a first act, and then mission is to save his mother as the second act, and then the third act being the recognition that there's no solace in this world that they're stuck in, that death is death, and that you have to remember that you die. There's a lot of little details in this story that play out and pull all three of those disparate acts together and allow the, simple act of exploration in a zombie infested area to be interesting, because it's based around the overabundance of human character connections. It's a familial story that just happens to be backdropped against zombie craziness, which is what the first two did as well. I would say that the zombie films, and almost the horror genre for that matter, have really been shifted since movies like this have come out. And there is almost a genre renaissance, a genre-zance, if you will, that is possible, or that is kind of taking up its wave and continuing along between vampire movies, zombie movies, horror movies. Like, there is a massive influx of quality work that's dealing with human emotion and experience, and developing these tropes and things that we love from these genres. There was some jump scares in this that get you, but they're not overdone. There's some intrigue with the, intro scene, kind of reminiscent of the second movie, with the whole Jimmy storyline that sets up a sequel, well, the fourth movie, I guess. And, there could be actually some really great drama there between Aaron Taylor Johnson and his son if they decided to do, I don't know, the 28 months later after 28 years. Like, maybe it takes another jump. But what really comes down to being the best thing about this movie, that I think is absolutely brilliant and levels this movie up beyond just being a run-of-the-mill zombie film, is the small interjections of memory and ideas that are interspliced into scenes based on a character's experience. Because at the beginning, they don't seem to make sense. They don't seem to flow with what's going on in the story. Like, there's these random ancient archers shooting at horses and stuff, and it's like from an old movie, and like there's all these little interjections, right, of things that don't fit. But then you realize, as you've seen them happen over and over, by the time you get to the third act, that it's really what the person is thinking about. There's a little bit more overt quality to it as you get further in. When they put the punches in of the memory with the mother dying, and her son's memories getting shown from the movie itself as these moments of emotional gut punch, it's really, really amazing. And it hits you hard, but in a good way, of making it feel meaningful and showing how their relationship is strong, and it is a mother and her son. Because otherwise, there's not really a lot of time for them to develop a relationship. I mean, the small moments do matter, but because of the language of the cinematography and the editing, you get those interspliced memory spots, so that when you're in the moment, it feels a lot more visceral and engaging and empathetic versus sympathetic of this interaction from these characters when the worst has happened. I think the character of Ralph Fiennes is amazing, and he kills it. And for it to be such a surprise that he's not insane and actually helps the kid through his loss is even better. There's just so much in this that's so well done. And, you know, it's wrapped in a freaking zombie movie. Who would have thought? So I think this is almost a masterpiece. Hesitating to put it all the way up there, but it could be a masterpiece, and it's totally worth watching multiple times, even though it's going to be a hard watch to watch multiple times. The music in this is actually really fun. It kind of gets that same level of kind of punkishness that's from the first couple, that there's those interjections of kind of that old UK kind of Spitfire music quality. And then another thing is that they actually shot it on film, and the feeling of the grittiness they get from that matches the first two so perfectly. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think that this movie was made in the 2020s versus in the early 2000s. You could watch all three of these and they would all look the same and feel the same and be from the same world, even if they are, you know, almost 30 years apart, which is what they kept saying in the movie, right? I think that's really helpful in just like our day and age. It's so clear and clean in a lot of movies. So to get something that feels, well, it's supposed to feel raw and intense by utilizing the medium to do that is just an even better, just artistic decision. And it's legit. This movie is legit. So what do you guys think? Do you think we'll get a second 28 years later, or at least a 28 months later maybe? Or do you think we'll get anything further in this series? I know there's rumors about like TV stuff, but I think Daniel Boyle has effectively changed the zombie genre forever. And these three movies are paramount movie making, not just in zombie movie making. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.